Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times. Welcome to my channel, welcome to a little bit of Endless Space 2. So today we're going to be talking about the Sophons. Not my favorite faction and not really my particular style, but in any event, we've got this still on Endless difficulty. This is a faction that I am not necessarily that great with. They're a very standard faction despite that. Their bonuses lean towards science. They haven't really got anything else going for them, and science is actually a really key thing in these sorts of games. And the way that you sort of play them is to ignore science to a certain degree, which is kind of weird, I know, but what you really need to focus on in the early game is getting your production up. So they're a bit of a counterintuitive faction, and that sort of throws me off when I play these guys sometimes. Also, I tend to prefer more militant type factions, and these guys are one of the furthest out there away from being overly militant. So you're generally speaking going to be playing a very turtley style with these guys. You're going to be focusing on internal development and hopefully not getting into too many fights. They can defend themselves, but you really are hoping that you can get away with not having to. Their ships are just not the best designs out there, and they're really bad at ground invasions. So generally speaking, I would say this is a faction for more or less a kind of turtley style and turtley gameplay. So let's take a look at your start here. In this particular case, so we've got ourselves another colonizable world, so not too bad there. We've got ourselves our homeworld of Hekim. It's a boreal world which is cold and fertile, and this is what you always start off with these guys, and this is actually an interesting and decent start for them. I'm going to queue up the drone networks here right away, and we're going to take a look at the victories that are available to us here. So the Wonder Victory, these guys have no particular great advantage to getting the Wonder Victory. They do get the science a little bit faster, but they don't get the resources any better than other factions, really. And they don't build the buildings any faster than anyone else, so you're not really gonna want a gun for this necessarily. There are certain situations where maybe that's what you want to do because it can be a little bit faster than science in some conditions, but reasonably speaking, it's gonna not be your favorite victory type. Economy, you've got no bonuses to your economy. There's nothing in particular special that's allowing you to race to that, so under a lot of circumstances, if you are trying to do an economy race, you will lose out on that to other factions. Not to say you can't go for that, it is still one of the easier victory conditions to sort of reach for, but it is still one of the ones that you're not necessarily going to be getting that quickly. Science, you've got every advantage in the world as far as this goes. There's not really too many excuses if you manage to lose a science victory, if you've got it set to science only for some reason. But if you're in a standard game, this is going to be something that you have to sort of struggle for just because you have to really defend yourself while you're trying to go for the science victory, and that can really slow you down. Conquest and Supremacy, like I said, you're actually kind of bad at this thanks to the Feeble Warriors thing, and your bad ship designs. The Sophons, in my opinion, have pretty weak ship designs all around, so you're typically speaking going to be stuck going for that science victory unless you get to the point where you're like, why the hell are you watching a guide from someone like me? Anyway, one of the other things we're going to do right away is activate Dirty Hands Act. It's going to reduce the cost of our buildings by 10%. Make it a little bit easier for us to build things. It doesn't actually help right now. This is a building, but we'll have a little bit more spillover as a result of this, which helps it a little bit. Going to take our general, our hero or whatever, and we're going to assign to a fleet on our home planet, and we're going to go ahead and modify his ship. That was not what I intended to do there. There we go. And what we're going to do is drop in an extra 2 of these scanning modules, and we're going to go ahead and increase our warp drive up to a basic warp drive. This doesn't cost us all our money, and that's perfectly fine. We're not really doing anything else with it for a little while. And for our research, this is what makes the cold boreal planet so good. We start off with the Mega Indie Consultancy, which gives us plus 10 production on cold planets, which is a little bit better than the Xenolinguistics whatever. This is going to be our first tech always. Now, unfortunately, our science building does not start with that, but we do have the fact that our Sophon little buddies here do gain that bonus on cold planets, and that's sort of the gimmick of them. They gain a lot more on cold type planets there. We also do want to get one of these other planets online here, but for now it's going to be the Atoll, which is going to be quite nice there. Now, strictly speaking, Hekim and the Boreal world here is a little bit weaker than the Atoll world that we're going to be able to get later, so this is going to be something that we sort of prioritize. Now then, let's go ahead and grab our ships here, and we've got 3 places to explore to, so in this particular case we're going to go ahead and launch a probe down that way. I'm going to go ahead and send my, not that, down this way. See if we can find somewhere colonizable right off the bat here. Yes, we can. Okay, cool. So we're going to have this guy head down this way. And we're going to have you figure out which of these worlds is most habitable for the time being. We've got lots of atolls, which is actually quite good, but I would actually kind of like going for the Boreal. Actually, no, the atoll is much, much better right now, just because having the atoll is going to be it's going to be a little bit stronger, just in terms of how fast it becomes a colony. I think this is faster than the jungle. I cannot remember, because this doesn't really tell me a whole hell of a lot for how much the food actual production is. And food production is how you determine how fast colonies happen. So I think this is going to be our best bet. Alright, cool. So that happened quite quickly. Going to be a little while before that comes online, so we'll just sort of leave that be. Going to want to scan the planet that we're inhabiting, as well as the other habitable ones nearby. Now, this planet is going to be offline for a long-ass time, but, ooh, another habitable set. Okay. And a minor faction down here. Interesting. Alright. So, since we're colonizing this one, let's check out that one first, even though atmospherics are usually negative. I don't know why. Garden of Eden. Ooh, nope. I've gotten a really great planet here. Okay, so continue on, I think. Just a little bit. And the minor faction means that we might want to learn how to interact with them a little bit earlier than I normally would. Did I screw up something here? Why does, normally I only have 2 of that, so something must have happened. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out what's going on over here. These guys, okay. I'm going to actually head up to Phagus first, and I'm going to start scanning that down. The reason I'm doing that is because I kind of want to gain the experience on this guy as quickly as possible, and I want to wait until I've got access to off-world agribusiness before I actually talk to these guys. Now let's just check, what is this actually? +5 per curiosity discovered. Actually, that can be a huge amount of dust, and that sort of compensates for the fact that I tend not to have a ton of dust with these guys, so that's going to help out a bit. And also, just it's in my corner of the galaxy, and there's not a whole lot else outside of that, so it's a pretty decent way for me to go. I'm hoping that I'm actually fairly cut off from the rest of the galaxy here, so because again, we kind of want to be turtling here. So this could be actually a good turtle point here. Just fortify this world set here. A tiny forest, a tiny monsoon. Let's get this monsoon checked out. Hello? What have we got here? Red Sang. A lot of Red Sang. It's not my favorite of resources, honestly. Alright, a Terran world here. 2 Terran worlds. And a steppes. Okay, this is actually looking pretty interesting. Let's check the life form here. Red Sang. Okay, it's going to be 2 turns. In 2 turns I'll have 4. How many scans are there down here? There's 3 scans, so I can do 1 more up here and then head back down. Don't want to use all 3 though. Alright. I think we head down there and just see if that's another sort of choke point planet that I could potentially make use of. I feel kind of like I actually want to go straight to colony ships in this particular instance here. So this is your first quest chain. It's fairly loosey-goosey as to what you sort of do here. What you pick now doesn't majorly affect what you're picking later. So militarize here, win 3 battles. It's going to be against pirates. Use and lose ships is the benefit there. Minus 15% ship cost on systems. Very, very powerful ability no matter what there. Inspire. I find that this doesn't synergize too well with what you're doing with the Sophons. It makes you really good at exploration, but deep exploration is not really rewarded or necessary in this game. Also, you don't want to put this on scouts because the vision range doesn't really help that much unless you're using scouts. And you can just layer a scout underneath a fleet, so I don't find the Sophon free moves too necessary. Socialize here, raise your relationship with a minor civilization to 90 or higher. On other difficulties and in certain circumstances, like you're next to a whole bunch of minor civilizations and the Hisho, for example, this is actually really powerful. And on lower difficulties, it's also really powerful. the fact that you can sort of just focus on one, get it up to 90 really quickly, and then take it over means that you can start taking over all of the other minor factions really cheaply, because minus 30% of the cost on that is actually quite good. But on this difficulty, once you got the one faction up to the 90, what's going to happen is that all the other ones are probably going to get taken, so you're not actually going to get access to a whole bunch of other ones anyway, since the AI is pretty on top of getting that. You have to be near AI that are not going to go for the minor factions. We're going to go with militarized just because it's the most consistent. It's probably what you're going to take pretty much every game. Now, I think we're just going to drop in an incubator here. Oh, yeah, Lyra here looks like a pretty decent place to try and set up shop as well. So, we would need desert ash or gas. So what we're looking for is sort of where the choke point ends and where we end up with a planet that sort of spreads out, so that we can sort of use that planet to sort of block other people's progress into our systems, which could be defined as this sort of area here potentially, depending on what we've got around here. If this is right next to someone's capital, of course, it's not going to be that clean, but alright, so what I want here, gotta just double check down here, it's desert, right? Desert or ash? You know what, ash is probably actually easier for me, so get atmospheric filtration. Oops. God damn it. And we'll layer plasma metallurgy right after that, just because I need that as well. Alright, so that'll get me the ability to get something down there. Have you check that out. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so since they're getting a natural +1, I guess we'll go back up here for a little bit here. Get the Mega Indie Consultancy and then the Atoll up here. Definitely going to be making this guy a governor. The only skills that this guy has are the Burning Light and the Celestial Mechanics that make him a decent fleet general. Everything else is really not that good, so you're definitely going to want to use this person as a governor. If you need generals or fleets, admirals or whatever, you've really got better things that you can do than getting this guy to do it. Yeah, so I'm actually going to send this all the way down to Lyra, our colony ship. Or probably Curus actually might be smarter. Not too sure actually. Okay, I'm just going to wait a few turns over here just to use up our scans, but in fact I'm going to do all 4, and once I've got my scans back, once I've got 3 scans back, we'll see how much I've got left for influence there. Because you want to dump as much influence as you can onto a minor faction and then do the scans on them. So if I do it properly, in fact, I might even go to my core planet, or home planet here. I should have actually done this earlier. I should have abolished Dirty Hands Act. The reason I'm abolishing that is because we're building ships right now, and I don't get a bonus to building ships, so here we go. Okay, so I'm either going to try and rush towards Cancer. Looks like he's going to get it, though. Yeah, realistically speaking, I have no hope of getting this one. Do I go for another signal? I think I will, even though I've failed a bunch of them lately. Ooh, nice. Okay. So, yeah, I think that we're going to have to rush to Lyra. Now, these guys are kind of peaceful. You know, maybe I actually do colonize this. I'm pretty sure that this is their colony ship, though. Yeah, that's a Vine ship. Okay, so they're pulling this into their realm already. Probably to get that Atoll, that's fine. Okay. So this defines my borders. Lyra is as far as mine goes. And I'm going to have everything that's in here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets. That's actually pretty decent. It's not great. I would like to have more, but I can always push out, or I can try and find planets that are just on random nodes. But it is nice. We're by the Unfallen. They are, generally speaking, fairly peaceful, so I'm not too worried about them coming around and just beating me senseless for no good reason. Which is a nice thing if you're trying to do sort of a camp thing. Now, the thing about them is that they're actually more defensive, but they don't have any bonuses, so like you'll be able to get yourself into a safe position as the Unfallen really easily. The problem is that you don't have the ability to outrace another person to a victory condition, so I'll be able to get my science victory before they can get any type of victory, really, in particular, which is bad for them. Some science, that's pretty bad. Not getting good finds here. All right. I don't care enough to get the quest that's going to come up later. It's just really not in my interest right now. And I'm going to send this guy back down to Bracia. I can't remember what the second tier version of, or the second cost is, so let's see here. After that, and that, we'll get planetary landscaping as our next tech. How are we doing over here? 8 more turns, okay. One of the things I might want to do is land someone down on Lyra and then spend the money to get that boosted, hopefully before this thing finishes, because if I get there before it finishes, the cost won't go up. Okay. So do I want to risk trying to get to Cancer? Probably not. I really don't think that would be in my best interest right now. Oh, and I should be reducing the cost of this stuff here. I kind of want to get a little bit more of this, though. I don't think I can get enough fast enough for it to matter, though, so I think we might as well reenact Dirty Hands Act here. Turning it on and off is one of those things I need to do more often and remember to do more regularly, but... Alright, praise. Yeah, that's about as much as I was going to get realistically. Oops, I was supposed to wait till I had 3 and I only have 2. That's fine, we'll just be off by 1. These sort of minor mistakes don't matter in this particular case. Like, I would be a lot more careful if I was adjacent to someone, but there's no one else that's going to become friends with these guys, so it really doesn't matter what happens as far as that goes. Go ahead and grab the last point of that next turn. More runes that still have not given me any weapons. Goddamn game. Nope. Damn you all. Alright. Oh, Pirates on Curus. Okay. That's actually not that bad. That could have gone a lot worse. Alright, so... game is just trying to figure out how could we make this worse for this player. That's what we're trying to aim for here. Anyway, we'll probably send around my scouts and my my general to check out Curus here. I really feel like I want to do the sprint to Cancer. Now, what the hell? You only live once, as they say. I was hoping that a pirate would spawn there because that would sort of stop things from happening there, but was not to be. Anyway. So this should be going up by like 6 or something like that. Yep. And we just got a little bit of not perfect timing there, but it should be okay. Alright. Should have our colony up and running, unfortunately, by now. Yeah, I really should have just stayed at Lyra. Would have made a lot more sense. Oh well, this will stop my food from being as bad as it could be. Okay, so managed to intercept the Prowler here over at Curus. Gonna smash it with my Scout Hero combination, and we're just gonna start sieging this place down a little bit here until I can get a proper warship down here to do this a little bit better. Because the guys I've got on this right now are absolutely trash at this. Anyway. Okay, so start off with the drone networks, move on to the cerebral. After that, we're going to be able to go indie, public, actually just do indie, I think, first, and then colonize the other atoll, the boreal. It's going to be a long wait for all that to finish, but I think that's going to be pretty damn good at that point in time. For us here, get the cerebral just because I'm worried about my money going down too fast. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to revert the game. I don't feel bad about like save scumming a little bit in this game. Like random ass shit just happens and it screws you over really badly in this game. Alright, up to Cordial. It's gonna get us a little bit of money. Let's go to the Atoll. Now I feel as though we're going to get screwed over here. I'm gonna spend the money to make this happen faster. But I feel like this is going to be a bad... Oh, this is going to be so bad. Alright, well, we're still colonizing. So that's good, I guess. I'm not 100% sure what the mechanics for this are right now. I cannot remember off the top of my head right now what the problem I'm going to have with this is. I think they can culture split me later. Well. We're at +3 money here. I need more money. Someone else found the academy. That's fine though. Alright. So after the cerebral reality, and we've got a second planet here, things are going to be getting produced a lot faster. Going to go ahead and create a new ship here. Just going to call it a prod. This is going to be our basic war scout thing here. It's not going to be anything too impressive, but actually there's some stuff I needed to tech to before I really did that. Shit. Yeah, I need to get access to focused plasma and autonomous construction, ideally. Now, do I actually want to do that in this particular case, though? The reason I'm doing this is because this will unlock a higher tier weapon for us, and it will also get us the focused plasma titanium A2S slugs, which are really important for getting rid of those pirates faster. I think we can do it. I think we can do it because we'll be able to take out one more set of pirates with the stuff that we have here, and that's still fine. So I think that's okay. Alright, where are you? Hopefully he finds something nice here. I'm guessing he's scouting there. Alright, so once we get a little bit more time, I'm going to send my general back to Oshie and have him scout that out for me. But I do need something supporting my dude here to make sure he doesn't get blown up here. Alright, our science went up, so focused plasma is a little bit faster now. We're going to go ahead and get public-private partnership there, 2 turns, and that'll hopefully also increase our speed on our science by quite a lot. Looks like they're not able to block my progress there all that well, so we're still chugging forward there. And our money's no longer as much of a problem, so this is all looking pretty okay. Amicable, okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and activate this. Phagus, that one. I will have to deal with that later. I do actually also really want to get more colony ships. I need 1, 2... I only need 2 more. What I might want to do is get a proper, just normal scout right now. I kind of want to do that, I kind of don't. I think we'll just do incubator. I could also work on endless research, but the AI actually gets that really quickly in endless difficulty, so it's unlikely I'll be able to pull that off. I'm going to go ahead and keep supporting the scientists. I want to have access to those abilities there. It looks like they'll lose anyhow. They are lost viciously, holy crap. Alright, well we have the industrialists in charge now, which is not the worst thing in the world, but it is going to make my science a little bit wonky. Mostly in that I just lost the text that I was researching. Okay, so we still got the one thing. So this is not great. We still have Dirty Hands Act, thankfully, since we just barely kept that. I could enact a new colony as well, but I think we're going to leave that out for now. I'm going to have to get N-Way Fusion so that I can get access to those texts that I wanted there. Alright, so Snail Farms, just going to grab those. Create this guy and send him off down to Fagus. Fagus? I don't know. Anyway. Actually, is that going to cause that to fail? I don't think that is. I should probably go for the Lyra first, though, anyway. Right, 3 more turns for this thing. Can't believe I lost my scientists. That sucks. So that's just ugh. All right. Just randomly Harshems. That's fine.
I greet you in the name.
Where the hell? Oh. That's unfortunate. Those guys are much more violent than the Unfallen. The Unfallen are usually quite peaceful, but quite diplomatic. They can be quite violent, but usually they're not. Alright. So, go back to autonomous construction, finish that off there. That'll get us access to better weapons. Let's work on interplanetary transport network, get that production up. Like I said, most important thing is production. Alright. How are we doing here anyway? 3 more turns before it's colony? That's actually not bad at all. Those vines seem to have disappeared. And here we go, pirates. Not my favorite people in the world, really. Let's go ahead and fight there. We actually want 1 more pirate to spawn, so this is going along pretty nicely. I might have to unfortunately send the detector home instead of my other guy, though. Which is not really what I want to have happen there. I guess I just have to make sure I've got a ship there before that timer runs out. Alright. Go for the science there, even though it's not very much of it. And yeah, 1 more turn. Alright. Should be a colony fairly soon here. I'm sort of doing these one at a time, which is not the ideal way. Well, it kind of is, but there's pluses and minuses to doing 1 colony at a time. Alright. So we should have access to some better weapons. This could have gone a lot smoother, but whatever. I'm going to go ahead and pick missiles in this case, and a titanium K2S, and this thing. This is going to be a fairly slow ship, but the Sophons actually have naturally faster ships, so this isn't actually that big a deal. I'm going to go ahead and grab multi-thread management as well, just so I can get access to some stuff there. I might have to go for a Red Sang build here, which I really don't like, but is what we have. Start building some prods here. And looks like we can colonize right away. Alright, perfect. It's an ash world. This is going to take us a while. This is a vine ship? No, question. Okay, good. You know, I could actually build a regular old detector and send it down to Fagus. That would actually be really quite useful right now. You don't necessarily want to build too many prods either, just because they don't actually do too much in terms of help once you really need real combat ships. And you can't upgrade them into anything. You can sell them, though. Alright, we got our cancer colony, that's great. Get us loaded up with the basics. I could try to kill this guy, but there's no point in it, and he'd probably actually win. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have 3 of these guys as a pretty decent fleet. Right, start working on neurorobotics. That'll get us a lot of extra production. I might also want to go for extreme atmospherics. We did have some gas giants around, I think. Yeah, I need to get this place colonized as well.
finished.
Okay. So yeah, I would like to take those guys over because they would give me extra ships, which would be quite nice, and not having to actually get a bunch of extra ships right now. Get our quest done here. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so Bracia now ours. Population for some reason of just 1, which is a bit odd, but whatever. And that does actually put us in a much stronger spot than we were before, just in terms of military. Alright, down here. This place is actually fairly well developed. Oh no, never mind. There we go. Let's see here. It's a jungle, it's hot and fertile. The steppes would be temperate. This is kind of a mixed bag here. Oh, we've got a gas planet that these guys colonized for us. That's with friendly locals. Interesting. It's got plus 1 population slot, so it's actually got 2 whole population slots. That's really, really generous of you guys. Alright. Well, whatever. Getting all the plants down here just colonized right away. It's kind of working out really grossly well, actually. Oh, and we got the first colonization to reach 8 planets. That's kind of surprising. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab that, then public-private, and then sustainable food. So this is going to be a really bolstered start here. Alright. So I can get this guy separated out. Have him sent up this way. Try not to send everyone else along the way. Get this detector down to Bracia for healing. Alright, cool. And from here, I don't necessarily need this many prods because I just got those other ships that going to have available, so do still want to have it on the way, but we'll go ahead and grab the infinite supermarkets in the way there. I really feel like this is not likely to happen, so I'm not going to bother with it. This could be quite good, though. I think I need to learn how to colonize snow planets, though, instead. Alright. This system here, we've got more plants than we have people. Good. Alright, so we've kind of really quickly gotten to the point where we have, like, our sort of initial setup here, basically. Alright, I need to speed this up a bit. Alright. Come on, why can't I? Oh, I've already. Did I already? Shit. Those guys are gonna steal all of my scans there, aren't they? Alright. Well, that's not a huge deal. Alright. Send this guy down to Fagus just before anyone else can grab that, and then we'll have Curus, and then we'll have our borders. That'll basically be as far as we're realistically gonna go. Not bad, really. Okay. I think I got them all before they could get any of them. Perfect. Okay. Imperium, Crowshems, Super Spuds. Okay, so this could potentially go poorly. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to do this with the hero ships, but there's no real reason to do that with the hero ship. Let's just bring this guy up there. I think this just randomly kills your ship, so go ahead and get rid of him. Send him down to here to be governor. Get this planet up and running a little bit faster. Now then, I need... There's a lot of things I need. Alright. Doing really well on cash somehow, which is nice. It's a difference for me. Yeah, someone else got the Endless Research part, like, basically immediately. We found the Riftborn. That's not actually that pleasant. They're quite violent. Quite a lot of the games I've played. But, yeah. Let's go with this one here. The 17 bridge, Thousand Island Bridge is really, really good, and the Red Sang is going to make it come up quite nicely. So all this is quite good. And down here, we potentially just lose a scout ship, but who cares? Calamity. A fleet is destroyed. Damn. Alright. It happens. Anyway. I'm considering in this instance getting the ability to see the wormholes as well. But it's not a huge deal yet. Yeah, let's grab intensive cultivation here. Send you down that way. Over here. Planetary. This isn't going to be great. This only really helps on this one planet here. But should be fine. Yep, lost our pilgrims. That's actually really quite bad, because I don't think we've got more than one. Oh no, we have got more than one. Okay, okay. That's relatively okay then. The reason that this is happening is because we've got negative food from all of that stuff. This is why I'm building the intensive cultivation. I wish I could build that faster though. Actually, I wonder, what's the difference in food production here? I don't think there is any way for me to get extra food here in terms of policies. Well, maybe there is actually. I think we're gonna have to do this temporarily to just avoid our population from crashing too hard. It looks like it's still gonna happen. Great. Minus 48 is what our food is at. That's lovely. It is because I'm doing 2 colonies at once there, which is my bad, but happens. Anyway. Nope. Yeah, definitely do make it indie than these things. Alright, so there's some pirates down here that have not opted to attack me. That's kind of interesting. Or did they just spawn? Yeah, population went down there. That's fine. Oh, there we go. Okay. What do these guys have for weapons here? It looks like a mix. Okay. Prowler, I think, also is just pure energy. Yep. Okay. There we go. Use or lose ships. New objective. Gain 30% militarism. That one's actually a little bit tricky. It takes a lot of time to do it, but we'll sort of get there in the end, I think. Alright. More production. This one will take a lot longer to deplete, so that's probably relatively okay. How are things going on down here? 12 more turns. Down here it's going to be 9 more turns. I don't think I've ever seen my population drain this quickly just from 2 colonies. Anyway. I probably should actually have sped up the Fadger's one as well, but it's probably okay. Once I get that upgrade there, it should be fine-ish. free mana search as well. We'll be able to do red sang. Keep cancer clear of enemy ships. Yeah. Thanks, game. That's I was sort of looking at that. It's like, yeah, it's not happening. I've never seen that one fail though. The literal instant that it started though. Like that's kind of new. Anyway. So I should in one turn. Oh, I can already do it. Shit. Okay. So red saying here, plus 60 food. So what I can do actually is just pop this in. And that's going to make my population just sort of like spiral in a way that is not necessarily all that pleasant for me in the long run, but it works. There we go. Should have positive food now again. Alright, and we didn't lose our pilgrims, good. Because they're actually quite a decent bonus there. Anyway, so that gets us access to not a whole lot that we need right now. I want baryonic shielding for the scans. I don't need happiness right now, so we're gonna go with experience. Okay, what else is happening? Well, that's just about defeated, so we can sort of focus on more of that in a bit. It's only 3 more turns. It's actually going to be less than that. Actually, it might be more than that, because I think we're running out of the boost pretty soon. So, what I probably want to do actually is weave in my last incubator here. It's going to go down to the planet over here, and we're going to colonize that as soon as we take it out, so that no one else has a chance to drop a colony on it or anything like that. But yeah, this is our setup here. It's a pretty okay start. Like, I really am happy with the way things have gone in this particular run so far. We sort of got a good way to sort of get our science up and running. That's going to be pretty grotesque in a while here. We're going to go ahead and just start focusing a little bit on militarism, just to make sure that we're safe. But I think we can focus pretty heavily on 2 Calgaros on cancer. Wow, that's going to be a big boost to this place. But yeah, like, we're doing fine. Like, things are going along quite well in a lot of respects there. I'm going to move this up this way here. 10 turns, wow. Sure, that's fine. So, yeah, anyway, I hope you found this episode enjoyable. I know that I found this one to go a lot smoother than I thought it was going to, honestly. The Sophons can have a really rough time depending on who they're next to, so this one's actually quite lucky. If you find yourself near more militant things than the Unfallen are just about the least militant things out there, you are going to need to think about military a lot earlier, but for me that didn't happen. If you do have to do that, it's going to be a tough game. Like, there's not a ton you can do to counter people who can produce things quickly and then swarm you with them, as the Sophons. Like, your tech advantage doesn't really pull into play until later. Because even if I try to skip techs and go for higher tier stuff, like with the scientific perk, I could like be skipping to these technologies here, if I had access to that right now. But it's not a huge bonus in terms of getting things that you need. So anyway, I hope you found this episode enjoyable, and of course, as always, I hope to see you guys all next time. Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is Yukitsu Times. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to a little bit of Endless Space 2. So we're continuing along with our game with these Sophons here. Gotten ourselves into a nice little position here. Now we are in a bit of an awkward spot, and I'm going to be trying to rectify the fact that I cannot find any antimatter or adamantium in my own borders. But there are some ways around that, and we'll see if we can fix that problem there. But we've reached the mid-game. We're trying to continue along with the scientific victory. Even if I don't find those, it's not too big of a deal. The reason being primarily that I can just turtle up here. I'm building lots of these use-or-lose ships here. These things are pretty okay, but they will get blown up by more dedicated ships. If I've got lots and lots and lots of them, I should be able to just barely eke it out here. So that's how we're sort of compensating for that. This is sort of what you do when you've got a situation where you can't build quality ships, you just build a lot of ships. So in any event though, we're at the point where we are sort of at the stage where I've got the technologies that I actually want to have. So what we're trying to do is now get these corner techs here. Now, you'll notice I haven't actually unlocked these top tier techs, and I don't really care about unlocking these top tier techs. What we're really interested in is getting this. This is the first one that you're going to want pretty much every time if you're going for the scientific victory. Genius the Endless, because of the minus 20% cost for techs. So we're just going to queue up immediately all three of these. None of them are actually necessarily things that I need. Ontological reverse engineering actually is probably the one that's a little bit better, so we'll probably go for ontological reverse engineering first. So this is going to take us 18 turns to do. In addition, we'll need 3 from this tech tree on this side here. Now there's a lot more options here, and we can get something like, say, the hazardous mining facility, which is not great for us because we don't have any sort of luxury resources along that side there anyway. So what we're probably going to go for is something like autonomous mining, because that gets us core science. So we're going to go ahead with that one. Probably power armor, I'm thinking, is a good choice for us here, because we've got quite a lot of gas planets, and we can't really build like the distributed energy thing there, and yeah, like I said, that's pretty bad for us. So you're just going to pick whichever you think is going to be best for you. Honestly, this might be a good choice actually for our third one here. So that's actually that's 2, so I need 1 more. So once I've gotten all of these, I'm going to have the ability to get this corner tech, and after that we're going to just sort of fill out the rest of the corner techs as well. You're also kind of only looking to get access to the corner tech exactly there, so 3 from this one, 3 from this one, 3 from up here, because I need 3 and 3 from here to get access to this one, so it makes it easier to get the further ones after you've gotten your first one. Then after that, we'll probably want to go for chlorophyll chemistry, because I think what I'll do as my second one is this one here, since that gets us a decent amount of science and happiness and stuff like that. That's also quite useful for us. Now you'll notice I'm basically skipping a level of tech here. We don't have enough in this branch here. We don't have like any basically in there, and the same thing's going to happen for most of these. There's a few techs that I sniped from each of these that I do want, but most part we're just ignoring that kind of stuff there. We have actually got a behemoth here that's increasing our science output by a little bit as well, but honestly speaking, this isn't going to be aiding us a huge amount. What I do need my behemoths for is getting new materials, if I can get that. So, in any event, we're going to continue along here, trying to get more and more science and stuff like that. Obviously, I can't get any of the microwave stuff there. So, what we're probably going to do here, luxuries, I think, since we're down to 80% happiness in Bracia. I think a couple of my places are struggling a little bit with happiness by comparison, but let's go ahead and get everything on the move there. I'm moving my ships around here looking for... Oops, looks like I'm being attacked by these guys. I'd like to retreat, but I don't think this is going to work out very well, because I need to sort of scout past these guys. The reason that I'm trying to scout around these guys... Oh, this is the Rift War. What are they doing here? They must be attacking the... Yeah, they are attacking them. Okay, but the reason that we're trying to search around here is we're looking for access to some of those strategic resources, basically. I could go in there and start beating up, actually, those Riftborn fleets. They don't look very tough, and I probably can kill them with the Smashers as I've got them written, as I've got them built. Like, this fleet, I think I can take out. They've actually got a 4 out of 10, whereas my fleet's cap out at 22, so I can definitely outnumber them, if necessary. Military crisis, that's fine. Alright. I'm trying to increase my militarism for a quest line. I don't really care too much about the quests for the Sophons. The starting one, the user lose ships, is really nice to get, but after that I just usually don't worry too much about what I'm doing for that. Anyway, looks like Curious over here, so I've got... You're going to still want to use fairly smart specializations. Like, there's no point in me trying to specialize all these planets for science just because I can. It's much more sensible for me to still give hot planets into industrial zones, and that's sort of what we're going to do here. These planets you'd still want to turn into food production ones, although I'm producing so much food because I've kind of gone for a couple of boosters for that. Like, we've got, I can't remember, it's hydromiel, as well as whatever. Oh, who are you? New hero? Did I accidentally pick a hero that I did not? Alright, well, whatever. Let's have you there, pop you into a system of some sort. You're a pacifist. Interesting. Well, yeah, pop you in Fagus. That's fine here. I don't remember selecting you, but whatever. And we'll go ahead and get that level 3 modernization there. So, getting our population up, kind of a decent thing here, but not really actually going to get us too much. The populations for Sophons are not great. Well, I guess it gets you all the planetary bonuses as well, so it's not really bad either, but... yeah, I wish I actually could figure out, like, where it's at for more places more easily, but you can check our capital, for example. We know that we've got 4 militarists here, and we've got a population such that I need, like, 10 militarists here. I've just been building ships non-stop, but honestly speaking, I'm not unhappy building ships non-stop here. Just because we kind of need to have a lot of ships if I want to match anybody in a fight right now. Alright, so that gets us to 21 out of 24, so we can build one more ship and add to that fleet there. And over here, let's just do this. Actually, no, it's capped happiness there. I'm not using trade in this particular case, I'm using the Pulvis things, but there's not a whole lot for me to do here. Let's just use public 3D print. Actually, let's see here. Got a sterile world here. That's for money. I don't actually have the tech for that. This one's cold though. Let's exercise stations that. Alright. So mostly we need to have our defenders sort of focused here. I should actually have them in the stance. Like, no one's really going to attack me right now since the Unfallen don't attack people usually, and the Riftborn looks like they're busy attacking the Unfallen. So once the Unfallen actually die, that's when I have to start worrying about getting attacked by Riftborn. If I'm not prepped for it, but it looked like they're not really building their fleets correctly, so I should be able to just power through them just fine. It might actually be a good idea for me to fight to keep the Riftborn out of there too.
The Unfallen watch you, unsure of your actions.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually going to help these guys out a bit here. We're going to head down to Pavo. There's the Horatio over here as well. I kind of don't care as much what the Horatio are doing. I think they're also being attacked by somebody, if I recall. But... oh, that is a lot of stuff I need done here. Okay, I could just build more Smashers, honestly, but it wouldn't be hugely beneficial to me. I think we just turn our Temperates, get those evolved soils in there. Or fertile, rather, but yeah, it's not really my favorite thing to do because we've got a lot of food and it's going to be a while before we get the food to production thing. Punctuated evolution definitely down here going to be a good call. Eco habitats is something else that I want. Bracia down here needs more production, honestly, but I don't think that anything really benefits from temperate. Can't remember anyway. Actually, I think the political one, no, that didn't have any specific alignment there. Well, either way, I'm just gonna get the impervious bunkers on a couple planets here, I think, just to waste time. I could honestly be doing money production on a lot more of these places, but... alright, so that's gonna take me a little bit of time to get ramped up there. We're gonna start changing out all of our plus whatever citizen science thing for the higher version of it. Oh, actually, it automatically changed to that. Right. Damn it. What am I going to waste all my time producing here? God damn it. Oh well. Alright. Probably more money and more ships, basically. Honestly, right now, the problem is kind of that we're just waiting for stuff to happen, really. I do not want their alliance, but I will help them. Hopefully he won't think to attack me there. The problem here is that even helping him, it takes me a long time to move to places that are around here. Alright, so this place is kind of claimed for them.
And your
I'm not actually planning on attacking Horatio. That would be silly of me to do. Ooh. more importantly, we're still looking for sources of adamantium and whatever it's called, adamantium and antimatter, which is going to be still difficult. I could set up a mining thing and just put it around other planets, but they tend to get shot down, so it's not really a safe idea to do that. You can protect it with a fleet as well, but it doesn't always work out the way you would want it to. I'm going to build more smashers. There's a lot of places that are basically fully set up at this point in time, which is quite nice in its own way, but it does mean I have to keep figuring out things to do with my people here. This place actually has a lot of hot plants here. I'm going to go ahead and modernize and then go for that. So this will increase the growth by a lot here, which is pretty slow actually apparently, since this place is quite behind in growth there. Alright. So with all these ships I'm building, how are we doing in terms of increasing our militarism here? Still at 4, which is unfortunate. If we get some quests that increase militarism, I'm going to definitely pick those. So the Adar, these guys are actually really annoying to increase the population numbers of. I'm surprised I got them to 10. It's going to increase our pacifism, which is unfortunate. I mean, it could just, like, vanquish them or banish them to some random place, but...
The Confederacy seeks only knowledge and a true place to call home.
Okay, that's lovely. Still, though, not really our concern. Should have done a scan there. Use that. Yeah, I kind of wish that I had more scientific bonuses here rather than the ones that I ended up getting, because, you know, it's like the food is nice and the money is nice that I'm getting from the Proto Orchid, but it's not as good as if I had science resources, obviously. Looks like we'll be getting access to Leda 75012 here pretty soon. It's going to be nice. And we are growing slowly and steadily towards HD 44179, so it's taking us a little while though. There's not a whole lot for me to do with influence. There were very few minor factions around us, so it wasn't really practicable for us to go for that kind of stuff there. Oh, they have done something here. What have they got here? Alright,
What is your objective?
yeah, this isn't your territory, so... Alright, interesting. Now, I've got missiles here, so I'm going for a long-range strategy. So turtle, obviously, not the idea. Should be able to wipe this guy pretty cleanly here, but in any event, we're not going to want to have our ships arranged quite the way we have them. We want only one guy on this flank, and then we want 2 on the other. Let's go ahead and watch this one. Life pods away. He's just like, let's initiate a fight against somebody. Let's see here. For both fleets, plus 25% hull plating penetration on weapon modules. That makes no sense to choose against someone who's got a missile-based fleet. So... we'll have a quick look at what this is like. So this is just preemptive border defense, basically. It's not really necessarily a great idea, but give you a chance to sort of look at what the... Okay, that's lovely. Let's take a look at this first here. This is sort of the power of just a large fleet by comparison to a smaller fleet. You get lots of sort of advantages in this kind of situation here. So weapon turrets should be popping up pretty soon. I like the kind of sleek look of the Sophon ships, but they definitely don't look like warships, is what I would say. That is some heavy laser power coming in. Yeah, this thing's taking an absolute hammering. Basically every time a missile volley hits, it's going to just destroy a huge portion of it. I think it only took like 2 volleys. The problem with like the missile strategy as I've got it is that it is overkill. I probably shouldn't be using missiles. I just felt like using it instead of lasers because that's what I've been using in a lot of the other games. But yeah, and there are other ships here, the Wrath. Like this is actually a really bad composition to use against the Sophon or against a missile ship here. This guy's gonna get absolutely wrecked here. He's got missiles as well, but we'll be able to kill him so fast that it won't matter. The thing about the Wrath ship is it's got amazing offense, but it dies so quickly. Like, we've got no defenses either, but our natural defense is a lot stronger than his. Yeah, so... Actually, no, the Wrath is their defense ship. Right. Either way, you know, I'm just gonna actually do this. I'm gonna go ahead and take trophies here. It's gonna reduce our damage by a bit. I should probably have moved to actually column 3 a little bit. Had more people down there, but... Alright, so... This might make the Unfallen a little bit happier about my existence, which would be nice. Might even let me might even tolerate me like buzzing around with harvester ships, but nope. Okay, still looking for. In our case, what we want is like asteroid fields. I think is the sort of most obvious kind there. Kind of want to explore the moon here, but we'll save that for later. There's a lot that can be built on this planet, so... Alright. How are we doing on our militarism? Over here we got 2 out of whatever. It's not great, but can buy up our happiness to 80. Do I have to go down to Thea as well to save that? This is kind of like the Unfallen is a faction that the AI just does not do very well with. They have a hard time expanding because of the way that their mechanics work. They're a very slow faction. They just sort of are there to try and survive, which doesn't help you advance is the problem. So eventually you get overwhelmed. Alright, I don't necessarily want to pursue here with my smashers right now, so I'm going to retreat them. Yeah, for the most part, though, this I think is a pretty decent look at. I'm gonna pop this fleet out here so I can attack that scout. Should be considered trapped in this case here. Watch as they hypocritically just are. Oops, this is the wrong distance. It's fine. We've got beam weapons. It should be okay. If we start at short range, I'm going to have so many missed shots. It's going to get kind of gross. Oh, they ran away. Okay. I'm going to keep refusing that. I don't want to have an alliance in particular.
What is your objective?
Fuse, increase our pressure. Well, that's lovely. Gotta keep building military ships here. Get our impervious bunkers. Also kind of need this punctuated evolution, though. Well... Yeah, getting your militarism up, like, when it's this disadvantage compared to science is, like, really quite hard. Especially when there's all those pacifists there. It's just, like, the pacifists are really... I could kill all the pacifists, I guess, but... Alright, advanced non-baryonics. This will get me some interesting bits there. By which I mean I can't actually use any of this shit. I'd have to declare war on a bunch of people, which would be a little bit impractical. Alright, what do we got here? A bunch of levels. Okay. It's always levels where you just find like nothing is actually that useful. Probably gonna go with this one here. This is another alliance request here. You know, I think actually if I just like minimize that and leave it on the sidebar, it'll eventually go away. Horatio and Lumeris, that's an interesting coalition. So just pulling my fleets back to Cancer to have them sort of heal up there, but there we go. Let's see if we can find... Nope. Okay. This could be a rough game if it weren't for the fact that I'm doing relatively okay of keeping out of trouble here. Horatio being in an alliance with the Lumeris does sort of... They tend to be a little bit more aggressive than some of the other factions out there, so it's not as though I feel as though this is a truly peaceful coalition they're forming. Alright. Okay, we're gonna take this Star Wreck and I'm just gonna sell it. Wait, what the hell? Is this a medium? That's a medium ship. Loaded down with standard guns there, it looks like.
Horatio doubts your motives.
I'm going to opt to go with that. Oh, that's still popping up. Okay. So that instantly teleported my fleet to somewhere. Over here, in fact, which just happens to be on top of this Riftborn thing. Thanks, Horatio. You've helped out a lot there. Alright. Oh, that increased my pacifism, though. That's gonna suck. Alright, well, either way. I mean, if I truly want to spike my militarism to get this thing... like, I don't even care about the quest chain for this, because I've already got the really okay thing that's easy to get. Anything after that's kind of a lot less relevant. But you just sort of go for it anyway, because you kind of feel like you have to. You feel compelled to move forward. There's a lot of quests in this game where I just never complete them. Virtual artifacts. Okay. Let's do this for now. Actually, let's also colonize these. Alright. Got a cat fleet over at Ganos. It's still a pretty mediocre fleet, but I could probably take out a couple of the locals. If I brought it into like Riftborn territory, I could probably beat them. But again, not really our goal in this particular case here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab punctuated evolution now. I'm not gonna worry about the quest. I think I do need to build all these military ships, so maybe I'll go back to building military right after this. But the reality of it is, I do kind of need to have a massive military buildup just so I can make sure that no one wants to attack me, and that's ultimately what we sort of want in this situation here. We got like 2 militarists here. Let's grab the impervious bunkers for a second. Like, I do want those science buildings as well, but how are we doing here? I forgot as well, actually, once I've got those 3, I don't want to grab... Okay, I don't think I queued anything up after these ones, so as soon as we've gotten all of these, I have to pick this tech here, and that'll make things a lot easier for us. And at this point, realistically speaking, we're mostly just waiting for stuff to happen, which is a bit unfortunate. Just gonna go citizen science here. It's not great, but there's no reason not to in this instance. Actually, I think I can build a science building here. We have so much Hyperion. It's kind of crazy. Build 3 gamma analysis platforms. Someone else is going to get this. I don't really care too much. A virtual endless, though. Those are quite powerful. And he's level 12. Wow. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that, though. Yeah, definitely going to pick ignore here. It's going to screw over our capital, it looks like. More political crises. Great. Cool. Gamma analysis platforms. Okay, so that's what this is. Well, they look like they're cheaper than my punctuated evolution things. Let's start building these things, I think, just for the hell of it. I'm not sure how practical it is for me to be going for this victory thing, but I think there's a decent chance that I get this. Especially if I pick one and just buy off on a planet system that I'm not going to have a great or easy time with. Well, let's check another system that's got 5. Curious has 5, so I could just buy this out here. It's gonna do that. Okay. I could even build more of these things. It looks like just every system. I don't know if I really want to embrace you that much, but looks like we got a lot of production here, so I might as well. That's an interesting quest to have come up there. So should be able to boost my science by a decent amount, but like even a few thousand extra points of science doesn't increase the speed at which I research things that much anymore. Honestly, the hard part at this stage of the game is just keeping yourself in a position where you're not going to get whacked by one of the other AIs that sort of detects that, you know, maybe they're actually potentially going to win this. Alright, more things that I cannot use. Great. So things, if I do find adamantium in one of these other systems, like I can still use it to a certain degree. It's just not... Ooh, that's actually quite nice for me. It's just not a simple thing to do.
The hive.
Oh, there's the Cravers. So this is probably what the Coalition's actually dealing with right now, I guess, is the Lumeris, whatever, are fighting the Cravers. Let's just grab all these. Don't need the level 3 that badly right now. I'm going to leave it as is. Alright. So I think I'll have won the quest for that Endless Hero, which is actually really nice. And I should also have just an absolute crap ton of science off of that. And pretty soon I'll be able to start dumping all of my production into science, which is also going to help us a ton. Yeah, I did get this first. Cool. Alright. So, him being an endless hero, I might want to use him actually as my admiral. They're quite powerful. Oh god, I've got such crappy heroes. Alright. I don't know why I kept picking Sophons as my hero. Oh, actually no, because I didn't have choices for, or good choices for a bunch of them. Alright, so, this is a fairly rare treat. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this guy as a fleet. Actually, no, I could get some good science out of this guy. Shield capacity is quite nice. The minus up, that one's really good. This one's really good. This one's not that important. Actually, I think... I think this guy's one of the ones that you go for as mixed. So I would start off going for primarily... terrestrial stuff here, and then have some abilities to pop them into a fleet from afar. I think that's the way that I'm going to play this here. And just one more thing. Since he's not normally going to be deployed with fleets, I think we'll go with the happiness boost there. Shield absorption on his ship, that's useless. You want the on-fleet ones. This one, I believe, was quite powerful, though. And definitely want the reduced assignment duration for him. Alright, so that's 11 points there. Going to start him off on planets in Curus. Quite rare to get one of those endless heroes. Endless virtuals. Anyway. Prime, I don't care. Did Horatio Prime get taken out by... I think I just lost my fleet there. I don't know. Oh, that's because it's over a Riftborn planet and they're worried that I'm going to do something to them. Okay. Oh, I did make it out. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I wish the AI was a little bit less attack-happy in these situations. I really need to be paying attention to this. Okay. There we go. Could build another behemoth station now. think we will actually get another behemoth center here. Because I feel like I'm going to have to get them for the last sprint in this. Get that. And down here, let's just grab these. Just completely giving up on my quest that's not really important anyway. Alright. How much science are we at here at this point in time? It's probably, yeah, it's practically 10,000. So as long as no one comes in to punch our faces in, we're doing okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get killed here, I think. There's no way these guys are gonna let me pass, but well, you never know, I guess. Alright, what have we got here? This is a neutron star. Let me just double check the reference here. So, asteroid fields and collapsing stars, so that's still the wrong kind. Damn. Alright. The only plus side to this is I don't think very many other people have adamantium either, so that's sort of, I think, screwing over everyone else trying to get advanced warships. Just looks like there just isn't any adamantium in this map. Oh, well. I actually need a scout ship to start sending probes out this way, I think, just to see what's over there. Alright. Well, we should have a little bit of quadronics, which is not useful unless you can also get the preceding stuff, so this isn't great, but take what you can get.
You're one of our favorite fish in this galactic sea.
Yeah, I think these guys are really trying to form a good coalition, solid coalition against the Cravers there. Send that down. I think at this point I really can't get more colonies down. Yeah, so we're pretty much going to have to get rid of, oh, we already got rid of that. Do I want to abolish this? No, I think we'll keep that. Yeah, no, we'll keep things as they are right now. Actually, no, let's... I kind of almost want to add in the Star Buggy build, try and find things a little bit faster. So we're going to pop that in there. I don't really feel great about that one, but... Alright, yeah, like that should be fine. Czar over here, Graviton, Gamma, punctuated, optics magnetic. Alright. The order I was doing that in was just the ones that I think are, generally speaking, the best. I don't usually check too closely which systems actually have the best ones at any given time. Or what would be absolute best in a given system. Oh wow, actually that's costing me a fortune. To be fair, I'm not using the 3,000 influence I have on anything else, so that's perfectly okay. Alright. And this is kind of what your mid-game is going to ideally look like as the Sophons. You're just trying to manage crises and stuff like that.
Bring solace to the...
One of the things I should be doing is talking to these guys and seeing if I can get a out of Cold War with them and get into peace.
The unfallen seek only harmony, not to anger or offend.
Yeah, I definitely have way more pressure to them. Suggest terms. It's asking for Hyperium is what it recommends. I don't want Hyperium that much. I want their antimatter though. looks like they have absolutely no... They have absolutely none of the adamantium either. That's amazing. Okay. I'm going to refuse that. Okay, it looks like I have to just ask for slightly less. So, asking for peace. Going to ask for... Oh, did they actually... Oh, they agreed to that.
Your actions and words do not...
Alright, so that helps out there. I mean, I probably should be using the Galactic Market, but honestly speaking, it's never has anything when I'm in this difficulty. Like, I try to go to the Galactic Market to buy some adamantium or whatever, and there's none in it, so I wouldn't rely on that too heavily. Okay, I'm gonna just build a quick scout ship here. We're gonna have it send out some probes and stuff. And I'm gonna switch over our vacant places to autonomous mining here. 4 turns for one of these techs, it's not that bad. It is speeding up a little bit too. Alright. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Core science. Yeah, I don't really need the ultra wealth sanctuary this game. We'll ignore that for now. What we got here? More science. Like, even though we're increasing it by however much, we're up to like 10,456. Like, bonuses that we get now are so small feeling. Anyway.
The Unfallen offer you a
fuse. Oh, there's adamantium. Okay. So what we want to figure out at this point in time is if there's a fast loop that we can do that gets us access to antimatter and adamantium, and it looks like there kind of is. I could move from Deki to Quorum with a heavily optimized mining rig, but I don't have the mining techs. I went for the other ones because I was hoping I could get away with not having to mine other people's territories, just because it's not that reliable. Well, I think we're just going to probably try and win the game without any adamantium, which is probably not a great idea. I wouldn't recommend it under normal circumstances. Does mean I feel like I almost want to build some more of these things just for science bonuses around nebulas and stuff like that, which I might have to do here. Oh. Just now the Academy got... Huh. It took a while for the Academy to get discovered. Anyway, let's go ahead and... Yeah, they're going to probably fight me, that's fine though. Double check our science build here. I don't think I got an upgraded version of this here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I didn't bother with that.
sign the deal.
Refuse. Jeez. Yeah, this is that point in the game where this sort of stuff happens. It's super annoying. Anyway, let's see here. Unite Emperor. Oh, that's gonna be a violent faction there. Jeez. All right. Luxuries. Okay. Found their home planet. Kind of unhappy about the lack of resource diversity in this galaxy. That's not good. Pirates. Can't believe there's still pirates around. Alright. Get that. Alright. Could build a very limited run of carriers, by which I mean I could build one carrier. Might be a good idea, but probably not. Okay. Have to make sure at this point in time that your scientists stay on top. That's an absolute necessity. If your scientists ever fall behind, then you're ending up in a situation where you're losing a whole bunch of your ability to skip techs, basically. And skipping techs is how we're going to win. This could be a good way to get lots of extra there. Really, that seems unfair.
Our purpose is to kill.
Right.
In the name of the Hisho Nation.
Alright, the Hisho we've found that's going to be really far away. This is what we're trying to run away from, I think, here. Still resolving that somehow, I have no idea why. Alright, grab that, I think. Getting that last bonus there is going to be pretty big for us. Oh, looks like we lost that ship. That is irritating, but not at all surprising. Gonna head down this route here, see what happens. Yeah, it looks like things are starting to heat up a little bit in the galaxy as far as coalitions and wars and stuff like that goes. I don't like joining alliances because it does change up the victory conditions just a little bit, which makes it harder to win in some situations. It's usually easier for me to actually win without the alliance. Hopefully we get access to this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with another science thing there. I don't have to worry about that one. Perfect. Okay, so. I think it's one more turn before I gain access to that. Down here. Okay. Yeah, no, I think this is just one of those galaxies that just has nothing that I want.
Offer you up.
Fantastic. It's okay though. You learn to cope with this kind of starts from time to time. It is a little bit too late for me to sort of shift gears though and go for that kind of tech right now because I'm really sort of focusing on getting that victory condition. But anyway, this is kind of what your late game should look like. You're just building up stuff to defend your borders with, and you're building up science whenever you need it and whenever you can. And just hoping that you can fend off whatever it is that the enemy can send you before you lose. I'm losing a crap ton of influence right now. I probably need to disable some laws. Let's go deactivate this since that guy died. Might as well turn it off. Alright. Still add static here. You go that. Anyway, I think that's going to be our video for today. I hope you found this one enjoyable. I'm finding this to be an interesting enough puzzle, but in any event, hope you found this one enjoyable, and of course, as always, hope to see you guys all next time.